Greetings, citizens, and welcome back to the Hidden Dagger. For many of us, after years of waiting, diving into Ashes of Creation Alpha 2.5, originally meant to be Phase 3 on May 1st, looked like finally stepping through the gates of the long-promised fantasy realm. As someone who is passionate about MMOs and everything Ashes stands for, as far as player agency and evolving nodes and meaningful risk versus reward, I jumped into this alpha with high hopes and a curious heart. And like any journey through unknown territory, my time in Vera has brought moments of wonder, waves of frustration, usually pickup groups, and a ton of valuable insights. In this video, I'm going to go ahead and walk you through some of the highlights, the disappointments, and the suggestions that I hope Intrepid Studios can implement or at least try to before August 4th. I know they're doing the best they can, but there are some definite things that need to be addressed. On a personal level, this has been my smoothest fresh start yet. I hit 25 almost exclusively through pickup groups on my road, claimed my first freehold, and captained my first caravel last night. I met some really great players along the way. Shout out to the Aura Guild and Timeless for being so hospitable and letting a poor little pickup in their group. But it hasn't been a perfect ride. For what has been a high note for me has felt like a letdown for others. So starting with the good. The node system is finally beginning to shine. Watching tiny outposts evolve into bustling centers of player activity felt really immersive. Some of the areas were just absolutely packed. Even in Alpha, the communities formed organically around the nodes, proving that Intrepid's vision is working. This is the magic of Ashes of Creation, where people gather, build, and settle. It's the ultimate sandbox moment. A fresh world is shaped by the real players. For me, combat has taken a noticeable step forward. It's always been good, but it just felt really smooth and fluid this round. While it's still not in its final state, I'm sure, the hybrid system felt snappier and more tactical, especially in smaller skirmishes and group fights. Right now, combat is one of Ash's strongest, foundational pillars, and that's a vital win for any MMO. The addition of the surplus gear and a few scattered quests was a nice touch. I know that they're planning something way more substantial, but for now, this was a good middle ground. While I'm leaning towards grinding as a personal favorite for me, it's clear that many players crave structured quest lines, and a few deep, well-written main story arcs could definitely hit the mark. Based on what we've seen in Alpha 1, or at least what I've seen, I trust Intrepid's creativity here. I'll say that the commission boards have really improved too. The rewards felt worth the effort, and especially the hunting, since they got rid of the kill the boss mobs and just added more of the thin the wolf populations and kill the spiders. It paired well with the nice rhythm when you go into town and you go ahead and repair and restock, you can hit up their commission board as well. And let's not forget the Lawless Zone buff that gives you 10% more experience and a 500 luck bonus. That's a pretty great way to push players out of their comfort zone and into riskier and more rewarding territory. I've been there myself and it's pretty good. You'll definitely want to try it out. We need to spread out as players and really, as soon as they get the bug fixed, leveling up the nodes, we need to spread out as players and level up those other nodes so we can get more buildings, so we can get more crafts and better gear for all of us. Now, some of the things, the disappointments that I had were things kind of get rough. Definitely the performance bottlenecks. Until we get dynamic gridding fully rolled out, some of the areas were pretty much nearly unplayable due to lag, especially the Steel Bloom and Ruins of Cephalion. Still, hitting a peak for over 8,000 concurrent players was impressive. Intrepid's tweaks to the server workers were noticeable. I am curious to see how they will perform during the next fresh start wipe. Some of the lack of direction in the progression. Now, for me, I'm used to this stuff, but for a lot of new players that were coming in, they really were clueless. And I appreciate Ashes of Creation's no hand-holding philosophy, but many of the core systems and the leveling paths, node contributions, more feel like half explained, especially to new players. Better clarity would probably go a long way. Now, coming from an Ultima Online and Dark Age of Camelot background, where I value a player driven economy, but early crafting needs to be more accessible. Materials should be easier to gather so players can start experimenting with the rare versions of the early gear and work towards the apprentice levels. While early level mobs should really only be dropping common and uncommon, pushing players towards crafting, but that system needs better support. Let's make crafters proud to run their shops and showcase their gear. All right, and now it's time for the elephant in the room. While I was focused with my head in the sand trying to level to 25 as quickly as I could, I wasn't really aware of what was happening behind the scenes with the exploits as far as the speed hacking caravans that were going from Mirrorlith to the tropics in 5 minutes, and players accessing the sewers where they shouldn't have been. And as usual, it's the same suspects. I probably won't mention their. Yeah, I will. It was Envious and Polar, and the community is beyond sick and tired of it. I am sick and tired of it, and I'm sure many other are. Go ahead, Polar and Envious. Try to defend yourselves. You can say you're great at finding exploits, which you are. I'll give you credit. But you're not doing anybody any favors. All you're doing is making them think about restarting and ruining the economy. So thanks for that. Stephen has been made aware of these many bad actors, and here are some of the comments from him directly. Yes, Intrepid is reportedly working on it, but perception matters. Right now, people believe the economy is broken again, and that's very dangerous. We need a zero tolerance approach. Intrepid has to hit hard and fast. If they don't, trust in this project will erode. This isn't a small issue, it's a make or break deal. Leave a comment below on what you would do to fight the RMT and the exploits and Ashes of Creation that's going on. Now for the fun part, the suggestions for the future testing phases. Now I'm sure Intrepid has probably already got many of these written down and things that they're already working on, but we're going to go over them anyway. But this is one of my pet peeves. I think they need to rework the guild experience. Why overcomplicate this? Let guilds earn experience naturally through the world activity, just like they do with the nodes. Forcing players to run packages is clunky and exploitable. It opens a door for gatekeeping for larger guilds to just take out the smaller ones, anyone they don't like, which will stifle the competition and the fun. Now, if that being said, if they want to subsidize the guild experience with those packages where you could level up your guild quicker, then I'm okay with that. But the natural organic leveling of the guild should just be from player actions doing whatever that they do, just like it is in almost every other MMO. There's no need to reinvent the wheel here, guys. Make common resources actually common. Early crafting recipes, especially now, demand a ton of materials. Yet the drop rates for copper and zinc, albeit better, are not nearly as abundant as the daffodil farms in the basalt and granite mines that we have out there. Let rare materials emerge as the node grows and increases availability of what's actually needed early on. So we don't need to see so much iron, so much iron out there and tin and stuff like that, stuff we can't harvest until at least one node on the map reaches that threshold where then it can start appearing around the world. Until then, it should just be common mats littered across Vera. Expand that storage clerk's radius. I'm tired of, gathering around a gaggle of people and I can't get in range to interact with them. I keep getting that stupid Kalar guard. So, yeah, I don't want to talk to him anymore. Please expand that or move the damn guards out of the way. I know that they're there for a reason, or disable their text box. Also, the Flesh Ripper and Scorpion Broodling have to be adjusted. That Flesh Ripper is way too powerful for that level. You want to make it a level 20? Fine. But a level 10 at that level, the amount of damage it does, way overtuned. And also, whose bright idea was it to leave a Scorpion Broodling at 170% movement speed at a novice so you can go ahead and get that? Why tame a bear? Why tame a wolf or a palace cat? It's nonsense. It shouldn't be there. And then you wonder why you have a problem with RMT, because nobody has any self-control and they're just going to pay to get that 170% mount or that Flesh Ripper. It's a massive gap. Not only is it unfair, it fuels the RMT scene. Adjust them or remove them until it balances in place. Also, please revert the market listing back to 7 days or lower the damn listing fees. Anything worth substantial amount of gold is not worth listing due to the cost and the low time limit. If 3 days is not enough, and I think you even lose it if you're down for the downtime for the 2.5 days. So it's just too costly. Just put it back to 7 days or lower the listing fees. And then you wonder why everybody's spamming global to sell this stuff, because nobody wants to put it on a freaking market and pay those listing fees. It's like a bad real estate agent. This one also kind of piggybacks off of the market. It's more about the global. the global group channel. We need one for finding a group, and we also need one for a trade channel. And it wouldn't be a bad idea to put a mentor channel in there as well, so we can try to help the new players. So, because I feel like a lot of times their questions just get lost in the garbage that we see on global. On one last final suggestion, for all these people who are hacking and exploiting and RMTing and anybody who gets their account banned, I sure hope and really pray for that they find a way to, put them on the gallows or something in the node to let everybody know, every player that was wronged by these people who helped ruin our economy, I want them on display. There needs to be some kind of accountability instead of letting these people fade away or list their account names or something. We need the community needs an explanation. We need to see justice. Despite the issues, especially with cheating and RMT, I'm having a fantastic time in Alpha 2.5. I'm really optimistic for what's next. Really looking forward to the econ and gathering changes that are coming up soon. And my hunch is, and this is just pure speculation, if Intrepid can stomp out the cheating, they won't do another wipe on August 4th. With all Phase 3 players already in, and maybe we even get Summoner, and then the Summoner can just go ahead and come right up along with all the level 25s and maybe even farther, because maybe we'll see a level cap on August 4th. Maybe that'll keep people's interest and we'll keep on going from there. But hey, again, that's just pure speculation. I guess we'll see how it unfolds. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. And as always, may your caravans find safe travels.